Hey, it's Will and Angela, and welcome to Respectable Tournament Times. This time we decided to go ahead and do a Friday to switch things up.
Whoa.
We did it in 1657, which is actually maybe a record time, but it seems like we've done one in 11 minutes before.
Definitely one of our top 2 or 3 Friday times, which is a big accomplishment for us because what you guys don't know is we tried to record one of these on a Friday, probably, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it just totally didn't work. We completely hit a roadblock and couldn't finish the puzzle, much less like have a post about it. So we came in a little apprehensive about this one, but just totally crushed it.
It was great. I think we got a lot of the long clues, which was the secret, so we filled them out really fast, and then we just kept going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like a little new to the way that the daily patterns work, but it seems to me that Fridays focus on having like really long clues dominate portions of the grid. Like, boom, 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 like these. And I think that's just the key. Like, we get good times when we, get those right away. And we pretty much did, right? Like,
I would say so. I think we got a few of the fill in the blank clues first, so that's generally a strategy for us is we go through and like look at trivia we know and like fill in the blanks that we know. And we don't necessarily stick in like one corner. We like go through the whole thing and then like fill that out and then we like start crossing them.
we were able to snag some of these pretty close, like picked up Danger Mouse right away. Angela picked up Hunt and Peck, which I thought was Chicken Peck, because I type like that, and I just, it's like, but
That's amazing. I'm glad we have this on record. I was gonna change that into a GIF of you just going like, rah, rah. Oh, now you have me on record doing it. Darn it. Yeah. So we got the long ones. I was really excited about getting Babe Ruth before Will did. That's like the first time I've ever gotten a sports clue before Will did.
Especially a baseball one too.
I know.
Up rare.
Rare.
We had Al Capone sitting in there. I think so. The clue is Murderers Row 1920s, and my first thought for some reason was like the gangster people. But yeah, Angela just
Babe Ruth.
snagged that one. Yeah, there were like a lot of fun clues on here. I thought like a lot of things that fall into the pop culture that we like.
Right.
Like for instance, ABBA. I think tweeted about this before, but we are currently in the midst of a beautiful period in modern music history called the ABBA Science, which is for short the ABBA Renaissance, where everybody realizes that they were the best band that ever existed. And I'm seeing them pop up, of course, in movies. They're on like tweets and memes all the time. Young people are into ABBA, and crosswords are like super into ABBA now. And as somebody that once went to an ABBA tribute concert with my family when I was like 9 years old, this development really excites me.
I did not know you went to an ABBA tribute concert when you were 9.
It was so good too, yeah.
What was that like?
Lit.
Okay. Did it make you say, Mamma Mia? That's really bad.
It might have. It was so good. I just remember it was in New York. We literally drove like 3 or 4 hours to get there. And we listened to the ABBA Gold CD like the entire time. It was super great.
Whose idea was that?
It was my sister's.
Oh, that's amazing.
She was a bigger ABBA fan than me, but I think I've turned the tables in the years.
Yeah. 13-year-old me watched Mamma Mia for the first time and was like, oh my gosh, and was very obsessed with it that entire summer.
I love movies that have ridiculously convoluted storylines that could be solved by having like a sit-down conversation with all the parties involved, but it just never happens. But I'm not like making fun of movies like that. I love movies like that.
That's right.
I think it's awesome. I think that's the way life works sometimes.
Yeah.
But did you have any others that stood out for you in this grid?
I was pretty excited about getting Swiss chard. When I was younger, we would get a lot of like these like Asian veggies at like our Asian grocery store. But the closest equivalent to Asian veggies at like the normal grocery store was like Swiss chard.
Swiss chard.
And so we would like buy, my parents would buy this Swiss chard and just like stir fry it. And I feel like, how do I say this? She's in the other room, so I don't want to say anything. But I think my mother's cooking has improved over time. So in the beginning, she would make me a lot of just Swiss chard and like vegetables on the stove. That was very healthy, and I grew to love vegetables. But it was good. It did not raise a picky eater.
Talking smack about your mom
She's
on
not,
camera.
No, but she's a great cook now.
There was some cool stuff that popped up. Whenever I see the phrase "brilliant," where is that one? Oh, it's under "That's Genius." The clue is just brilliant. I always flash back to these old like Guinness ads that I was just showing Angela that I used to watch on ESPN like all the time when I was like 10 or 11. And it's just these two, I don't know, dysfunctional old men that just go like brilliant all the time.
Brilliant.
So we'll probably link that on our write-up. I'm really sorry if I had to remind you about those terrible ads.
I was excited about Sarah Koenig from the Serial podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Which was another podcast I listened to when I was scanning books. Flashback to our first ever.
First episode.
Yeah. But I was amazed that I still remembered her name. The first round of the podcast, and arguably the better one, is about essentially this murder. And so I was like listening to Serial and about this murder while I was like in the library in like the depths of the book stacks, shelving books.
Oh gosh.
In the like it was like very dim, and like I was like just putting books back, just alone, like hearing stories about this like murder, and I was like,
somebody ever like tap you on the shoulder and you just go like,
I think something like that happened. Like someone like walked out from behind a bookshelf once, and I just like jumped like a foot. I'm pretty sure that happened. But yeah,
I dropped some of those books with a big thud.
I felt a little sheepish after I did that.
So we were through with everything on this puzzle, but the X right here. And we had to employ our personal favorite strategy, which is called brute force crosswording. And this is a beautiful method in which I sing the alphabet song to myself and type in every single letter to find out whether I'm going to get it right, which we finally did. We got X like almost near the end, or whether we have another error somewhere in the grid.
Yeah.
Probably not something that like more experienced, more tournament respectable crossworders employ that often, but it's definitely saved our skins a couple times.
Yeah. Will just says. Anyway, this was a great confidence boosting Friday crossword.
Yeah. And we'll have to see what happens next week, but maybe we'll try it again.
Yeah. Who knows?
As we move our way closer and closer to the vaunted Saturday crossword, which I feel like we're still a couple months out on. We're getting better.
We are getting better. I see improvement every day. Oh, I need to tell a story on camera, just because it's a great story. So, I recently got my friend's parents into crosswording. Mr. and Mrs. Barkley, if you are out there, this video is for you. And they told me that they now do crosswords together in the mornings, and they're getting better at it. And they recently finished one in 20 minutes, and I wanted to give them a quick shout out. So keep doing crosswords together.
Y'all rock. That's what it's all about. Just like having fun,
All right. On that note, We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.